We'll do the Simon.
Yeah, we started really today, it's the home stretch, the last sefer of Rambam for those that are learning 3 prakim. Shabbos we finished Mishpatim, and today we finished Shoftim. And it's close to parsha shoftim. We're studying this week is Rei, and the following week parsha shoftim. So it's Dova Be'itay. You know what? Why don't you look? You do the CM, I'll do the Aschola.
אף על פי שאין אפוטרופוס צריך לעשות חשבון, the Rambam is talking about somebody died, right? And he leave children. So what happened? They get Yerusha. What happened if the person that died leaves small kid and don't have children and don't have idea what to do with father business? Today you have in America a lot of businesses, they live on making business of people who die and no Yerushim. Before the government take the money, they get involved. They are in the nursing home after the guy. They see a guy live in the house alone. They come to give him help. They're chokhmah do this. But in time they're doing it for a cook. But in time of Bezdin, right? So the Bezdin job is to take somebody from Bezdin and make sure that children, nobody steal away the karka from them. These payers. So it's called in Lashon Gemara apotropos. בסדר, אף על פי שאין אפוטרופוס צריך לעשות חשבון. You don't have to make a calculation, כמו שביארנו. צריך לחשוב בינו לבין עצמו, לדקדק ולהיזהר הרבה מהבין של אלו היתומים שהוא רוכב הערבות. Nevertheless, he doesn't have to give somebody a calculation what exactly he's doing, because he is the apotropos. Apotropos meaning like he told him to be like the father of the kid now. Still should be careful, don't use the money from the kid for himself for certain thing.
Right? He gets paid, right?
That's what he's saying over here. He has to know what. שהוא רוכב ערבות שנאמר, סלול לרוכב ערבות גמר. No, he uses his time to sell the stuff. So he lose couple hours, right? He has to get paid for this. He doesn't get paid for that. That's his donation to the kid to make sure that everything is done right. And the pasuk continued that Avi Yitumim, that he's taking care of the father from this Yitumim, like he became instead of him. סליק הלכות נחלות בסייעתא דשמיא, נגמר הספר 13 והוא ספר משפטים, הלכותיו 5 פרקיו 5 ו70, הלכותיו סחירות 13 פרקים, הלכות שאלה פקדון 8 פרקים, הלכות מלך ולוי ו27 פרקים. הלכות בניתן 16 פרקים, הלכות נחלות 11 פרקים. When I was doing it, I was thinking about it, the Eibishter of Bnei Yisrael, right? We are father and son. Who is the one that's taking care of us now, that whatever the Eibishter gives us, we shouldn't destroy it, right? We destroy the food base and make it like the marshal that we said the second way. Who is the one right now that makes sure that Bnei Yisrael following what the Eibishter says, you know, keep the Torah mitzvahs and follow the Torah the way it's supposed to be? Who is the apotropos of us now? Must be the Rabbonim of the generation. They are the one that make sure that the halacha they give direction that when you have a problem, you go to the Rav. That's what they do in this halacha. It is. So the obligation of the Rabbonim in our generation, this is the apotropos that children. That's what I was thinking when I was learning.
It's a good shot. Sebazai, it goes straight into Hilchas Sanhedrin. Very good. So let's start Hilchas Sanhedrin. We'll learn quickly 3 halachas and then do an unbelievable, sweet sicha from the Rebbe on halach in Hilchas Sanhedrin.
He missed the question that the lady asked you.
Yeah.
So maybe tell him later.
Okay. Hilchas Sanhedrin. Perek Aleph Halacha Aleph. Mitzvah Shel Torah L'Mana Shoftim V'Shoftim V'Chol Medina Medina V'Chol Plech. There's a mitzvah from the Torah to have judges appointed in every single country, in every county. Shenemer Shoftim V'Shoftim Titan L'Chol B'Chol Shorech. That all your gates should have Shoftim and Shotrim. Shoftim, who are Shoftim? Eila Dayonim, these are the judges. Hakvuim B'Bezdin, they are Kavua, set in the Bezdin. U'Baalei Din and Barim Lefneim, and the Baalei Din, the people who have disputes, they come in front of them and they settle the dispute. Shotrim, what is a shoter? Elu Baalei Makul L'Teritzur, the people with the stick and the whip. This is pre-guns. Or post-guns.
Yeah, the man is moving up.
Exactly. They stand in front of the Yonim. They go around the Shvokim and the Rechovis in the courtyards, in the marketplaces, in the stores, to make sure that all the measurements are kosher, that no one is cheating anyone. And to hit all crookedness, Whatever they do is based on the dayanim. If they see something crooked, they bring it to Bezdin. Next.
They have now office that go to all the restaurant and all the grocery store and they check the measurement, the scale.
Right.
If it's right.
Right.
It came to me a lot of times.
Yeah?
They check the
They
scale.
have a sticker. There's a sticker with a date.
They put a sticker.
Right.
But they check if the scale
Sure.
is good.
Yeah, they check.
Yeah.
In practical terms, Rambam lists this as one of the Taryag mitzvot.
Two different or one mitzvah? Shoftim and shoftim. Two mitzvahs?
No, okay, if I'm talking about shoftim specifically.
It's a mitzvah.
So when you get down to it, it amounts to the fact that it's a mitzvah to say to have a police force. That's exactly what Rambam explains, right?
Yeah.
Men walking around in the streets with clubs in their hands.
Yeah.
Without police, you'd be a mess in the city.
Yeah.
With the police is mess.
על אחת כמה וכמה.
אנשים יאכלו איש את רעהו, חיים
Exactly.
בלעו. They
Exactly.
eat alive a person. That's a bad issue.
That's true.
Pedig Beis. Emma, we don't have to make it. Only appoint in the Sanhedrin people that are wise and are muflik, are incredibly knowledgeable in the Chachma Torah, Baladei Merubei, smart people. Yodim Tzas Mishar Chachma is going to full Cheshbon Tkufim Azal Sat Stagninus V'Dakem Oinem V'Koisem V'Chashron Havle V'Dezarim, because they have to adjudicate over these things. Kidei Shu Yodim Lodenoisem V'Em Amidim V'Sanhedrin Elakoinim Levim V'Serim Mechotzim Eruyim Lasim Lekuna. They have to be done to Moshe Rabbeinu in wisdom, in Yiras Shamayim, and in Yichos. Now, next halacha.
Why do they have to know all this stuff?
Because they have to. Because a lot of dinim have a touch on to these things. A little part of the din, he gave him a knak from Gob, and now the shaila is how much should a fuah. So if the guy doesn't understand anything of Darkei Refuah, the guy's going to bring a bill for $100,000, and the dayan is going to say, "Well, the bill is a bill." But if the dayan understands Darkei Refuah, he's going to say, "Haka China, this thing is not more than $25." If the Sanhedrin that it came to din and nefashos, capital punishment, and when they started off to the beginning of the sitting and the session. Amr Kulam Chayev. They all said he's Chayev. All 23 or all 71 said that this person is Chayev to get killed. The crime is clear, and he has to get killed.
You need a majority of the Sanhedrin, right?
You need a majority. Here it's
Not
not a majority. It's everyone. That is a potter. He's potter. There has to be a ktsas of the Sanhedrin that are in favor of him, and they say a schus v'yirbu amachayvim, and there should be a majority of those that say he's chayev, that he's obligated to get the obligation to kill him. Then he can get killed. But if everyone pe'echad, there's a consensus in the entire Bezdin of 23, everyone says crime is clear, he has to get killed, then he's potter.
23 or 70 Sanhedrin?
It could be 23 or it could be 71. Either way, it's good.
There's no,
The Gemara says,
there's no time behind that.
the Gemara says a Ratam. The Gemara says, and here's the Sikh. The Gemara says the reason, because there's a concept, there's a mitzvah of Halon Sadin, that the Bezdin always has to sleep over the din. They cannot allow to do a din immediately on that day. They have to sleep over it. So, in the days of Bezdin, things didn't drag on for a few months. That was called Inuyadin. You're not allowed to schlep a din too. Things were done very quick. But when it came to capital punishment, it wasn't allowed to be done in one day. There was an obligation for Halon Sadin, they have to sleep over it. So, the Gemara says that over here, that it's not Shaykh Halon Sadin. Dvakiven, the Gemidi, Halon Sadin Lamevidlei, Schusa, Vahani Sulai, Chazalei. That the reason the Torah says to sleep over it, maybe they'll find some zechus for the person, they'll find some favor in the person. But now everyone said chayiv. What is it to sleep over? There's nothing to sleep over. That's what the Gemara says. So there's many ways to learn. Is it because now there will be lacking a zechus, or it's a technical thing? There won't be halona sadin. But the Rambam doesn't say any of this. So what's the pshat in the Rambam? So there's meforshim. Some meforshim say, oh, you know what? They're all bent to kill him. I mean, 23 people, everyone. There's something's wrong. This is, you know, it stinks. And this is not right. No one sees any schus for this guy. These guys want to kill him. They must hate him. One pshat. Second pshat is these guys don't know halacha. It can't be. It's too good to be true. All 23 in 20 minutes said is chayiv. It must be a bezdin of amaratzim. They're quacks. Okay? Another pshat is that they must have not spent enough time looking into the din. But the Rebbe says all these reasons are really shvach. If you look at the Rambam says that a bezdin is only anoshim chachomim, nevoinim, uflogim, b'chochma, b'yida, b'yachas. And the Rambam doesn't say it. That's the bottom line. The Rebbe has two pshat. One pshat and the second pshat. First pshat, the Rebbe says like this. Very interesting concept. The din is that a person is being killed or whipped. He say v'nikla l'achicha le'enecha k'shaloka areu k'achicha. He gets whipped. Achicha. Once he gets whipped, he's your brother, because you know his sin is wiped away. That's why a person, before he gets punished in Bezdin, must confess. He must ask Hashem for forgiveness. So even when a person gets killed. It's an interesting Rambam, unbelievable Rambam. The Rambam says like this. There's a din of Edom Zomim. If we catch that the witnesses tried to kill someone, they framed them. The two witnesses tried to kill Reuven. So we killed the two witnesses when we catch that they were lied. Whatever, let's not go into the halachas of Edom Zomim, but when we ascertain that they're called Edom Zomim, they framed, they lied, they tried to kill Reuven, they get killed. We do to them what they wanted to do to their brother. They wanted to kill Reuven. They said false witness. They came to give testimony in Bezdin that he killed, and it wasn't true. They get killed. It says the Rambam, what happens if he was already killed? Reuven was killed, and now they were caught.
You don't kill him.
You don't kill him. Why?
The Gemara says, Kasher Zama v'lo Kasher Asa.
Kasher Zama v'lo Kasher Asa. Very beautiful drash. When you learn the Gemara, right? But does it make sense? Why?
Right, I hear you.
Why? The Rambam has a simple pshat, unbelievable pshat. He says because killing in the Torah law is not a way to get rid of people, and it's not a deterrence. It's simple. This is the way this person does kapora. This is his atonement. This is the way the person is atoned for. These two Eidim, they don't get the privilege of being killed in Bezdin. That's a privilege. They don't get this privilege.
They can't make tshuva.
They can't know. The Rebbeinu Shalom will already know how to take care of these two people. God could take care of them. But they don't get the privilege of being killed in Bezdin. Similar to that, the Rambam says, it says, that this person gets punished because he gave some of his children to the avodah zarah called the moilach, that take the children over the fire. So the Gemara says, only if he gives some of his children. If he gives all his children away to the avodah zarah, he doesn't get killed. Why? He has two sons. He gives one away, he gets killed. He gives two away, doesn't get killed. Why? Make sense? The Rambam says, it's like, yeah, you learn the Gemara, it said, but why? Is that logical? The Rambam says again the same thing. A person gave one of his children away, no abyssal meshuga. Give all his kids away? You can't atone for this. Bezdin cannot kill him, because then they're killing him for no reason. If they're killing him,
there's no medicine.
Right. The Bezdin can't deal with it. They cannot deal with it. His sin is too big. They cannot atone for it. Killing is not just a way to get rid of a person. It's not knocking a person off. When Bezdin kills, it's in order for him to be kapora. They can't deal with it. They wish just to deal with it.
Kasher Zaman, there's a very big chok there, because nobody was killed.
Right.
Right.
But so it's not just a choik, because otherwise you'll have a world with people trying to take revenge on others by framing them with false witnesses.
Constantly it's happening.
Right.
But then nothing happened.
Right. Nothing happened, but that's Elman Yishmu Van Yirmu.
It doesn't happen here in New York.
Right.
Police stop you from
So is that the Rambam sheet that Uol Xeris Akasa?
He has all.
That's not Zalmul
Yes. The Rambam has a sheet that brought an Meila that Kol Mashata Yochel Litan Loitam Ten Loitam. The Rebbe used to talk about this a lot. So therefore, here perhaps the Rebbe said one pshat you could say that perhaps over here everyone sees right away the sin. It's so egregious that you can't. Then killing him would just be bumping him off, because this is not an atonement. If it's so clear that 23 people in 20 minutes see that he's chayiv, so then killing him is not a kapora anymore. So therefore you can't kill him. The Rebbe says, but that doesn't sound. That's not a geshmak pshat. The Rebbe says we have to find.
Like Bezin is the low people that they cannot.
They
find.
can't. Yeah. So the Rebbe says it's a fakert pshat. It's brought the Rambam. It's the Lubavitcher Rambam in Gerishon, the end of the second Perek. The Rambam says that there's sometimes a person that the Bezin, the Paskins, that he's chayiv to give a get to his wife. Okay, he doesn't want to give. So the Bezdin gets a couple of men who start beating him. So he says he'll give a get. But the problem is there has to be l'retzoinai. It has to be without coercion. So they beat him a little further until he says that he's doing it from his free will and he's not being forced. So they force him further. They give him like another few whacks until he says, oh, by the way, I'm doing it from totally my free will, and I'm not being forced. So, frek the Rambam, this doesn't make sense. If you're forcing him to give a get, you're forced to give a get. But then you're forcing him to say that he's doing it from his free will. He's not doing it from his free will. He's being forced. So the Rambam says that every single Yid is roit zelases, kol ha-mitzvahs, u'l'sarachik min ha-vedes. Alama Yitzri Ushon says Yetzirah is forcing him to do the wrong thing. Ekivin Shehuka V'Toshes Yitzri. Now that his Yetzirah got weakened, so his real self is talking, and he's saying Roitzani because really he wants to do the right thing. Whatever Bezin says to do is the right thing. Okay.
How about the jury duty nowadays?
Yeah.
I went to jury duty. They take you upstairs, and the lawyers question, and they pick up from 200. Maybe they pick up 13. Maybe.
Right.
If not, if you go down and come up.
They make sure to disqualify any man with common sense.
Yeah, but I had
What is the story?
I had a black guy that robbed somebody. So they asked me a question. So I said, years ago I was mobbed by a black guy. And I think every black guy I see here, I say he's higher. Go downstairs. Send me downstairs, half an hour later I go home. That's it. It was good.
So back to the Rambam. It's like the Rebbe like this. Every single Yid, the goodness that's there in a Yid is not superimposed. That's the emes. That's the essence of a person. The bad is glued on the outside. It's something that came later. It's just that some people you see the goodness immediately in them. And some people you don't see the goodness in them right away. Sometimes it's very hidden. We're saying a bezdin has to be people, they have to look at the entire person. So bezdin is doing their job, they're looking at the person. But if they see kulei chayev, obviously something's missing. How could it be that they call that? In other words, out of 23 people, one person should see that shade of the person that has some goodness to it. And see, no, the circumstances, he didn't mean it, he didn't do it, he didn't think, it was accidental. Really, he's a good guy. No one sees any good in the Yid? How can that be? And obviously something's wrong. Obviously something's wrong. Not that we're not saying criticizing the Bezdin, but we're just saying that it's impossible that a Yid should be rotten through and through, and the entire Bezin sees in such a quick deliberation that he's kulei chayiv. There has to be a little bit zakai. There has to be a little bit sichos that at least one dayim will pick up on it. So because no one could pick up any sichos, so there's something's wrong.
That's why.
Something's wrong because a Yid has to have some sichos in him.
What kind of zichut could there be if you have the two witnesses that saw this person murder somebody?
Right.
I mean, right out.
And we're not talking about him being completely empty of all zichuyot lagamri. We're just talking about this specific incident.
Yes.
It could be that he's a big tzaddik in other areas.
Right.
In this specific incident, he's chayav lagamri.
Right.
Right. Okay. I hear a question. But every incident is very complex. In this incident is a snapshot of the whole person. True, this ma'isa happened in 1 minute. But if a person, if you say a person, a person was Machal Shabbos, right? You say, well, does he have to look at the whole history? He's a very fine person, a very good person. Nebuch, he had bad experience as a child. He was kicked out of yeshiva. Had he stayed in yeshiva, maybe if your rabbis taught him well. Really, he's a good neshama. He's a good skite. Right. So, it's true. Now the Chilul Shabbos happened in 30 seconds, but now finding a schus would be going back to the entire person. A lot of times, finding the schus or finding the chayiv is not only this moment. The circumstances and who the person is.
No, I don't know if you can count those things in. I once to talk this over with Rabbi Feinstein. This whole issue, if you can count in things like provocation, like if he was provoked and stuff like that. Well, let's say things like that. It doesn't seem that you can consider such things.
Why? In Hilchos Shabbos, it's a consideration.
What?
If a person was nishba lebein agoyim, for example, so it is a consideration.
No, but if he was forewarned and he said almanatkein and things like that, and or let's say retzach, that's a better example, I think. Let's say retzach. Let's say he was provoked, but nevertheless he did it. So that the fact that he had this psychological issue of being provoked. Or being outraged. Like
there's so much.
Like
there's
that.
so much in the kavana, in Hilchos Ritzicha, the Ritzach Shmiras HaNefesh. Did he have? What was his intention? And what kind of a weapon did he use? And yesh bo kedei lahamis, ein bo kedei lahamis.
Yeah, okay, but you can't take into considerations like his childhood experiences.
Okay, I gave an example like Hilchos Shabbos.
Even for Hilchot Shabbat, you can't take into consideration.
I'm not sure.
His childhood
I'm not sure.
experiences.
I'm not sure. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Say if a person breaks Shabbos, one Shabbos, unintentionally, just he didn't think of it. And the next Shabbos comes and says, "Oh, I did something wrong the week before. I'm not going to do it this week. I'm going to make tshuva." So.
Then versteht sich. That's then we open the gates for tshuva. There's no shayla about that. Here was the question: was the Edom came and they said that they saw him being Machal Shabbos. That's the question.
So what happens the next Shabbos?
If the Bezdin lets him off the hook, then hopefully next Shabbos he does tshuva.
10 days after the next Shabbos and he makes tshuva.
They don't need
to.
It doesn't
Tshuva doesn't help Bezdin Shalmata. Only Bezdin Shalmaila tshuva help.
If two Edim saw him Mechalel Shabbos, they have to make a trial. Say, listen,
right.
The next Shabbos you do it, then they
No, if you do it right away, they bring him to Bezdin. They do it right away, they bring him to Bezdin.
Rabbi, I just wanted to say that once I was learning with my uncle over something. He just passed away cusp of Iyar this year, the day after Pesach Sheni. He was 89. So one time he told me, he said that Inei Adin is only after they made the psak then you can't just wait around to kill
Until
him
they
or
kill him,
whatever.
right, that's true.
But until when they deliberate to find out if he's good, that could take a long time, you
Right,
know,
that's
to
true.
examine everything. They don't just
That's
say, okay,
true.
let's hurry up.
That's called Drisha V'Chakira.
Yeah,
Drisha V'Chakira.
the Inyan then only starts after the psak.
Right, that's true.
Where is this
And-
one that's
and-
based in the killing 70 years or something like
Right.
that? That are called,
It's, more than twice. They did twice in 70 years.
so you imagine how many cases they have, and they have to
Right.
always find the schut.
So that's the second shot that Rebbe has here. Because they immediately, when they started looking into the case, so obviously there's something missing. They're not looking at the entire person. So therefore he's potter.
It's not a mile, it's a chiston.
Right. Therefore he's potter. The Rebbe says that this is always we learn this parsha shoftim in the beginning of month of Elul. Now we're standing already after the Shabbos Mavorchim Chodesh Elul. And what's Chodesh Elul? The Alter Rebbe says in the lkuti Torah that Elul is a special Chodesh. What happens on Chodesh Elul? The king comes out in the field, and every Yid has a chance to go over to the Melech and talk to the Melech, and the Melech shows a panik shoichikas, a panim yofas to every single Yid. It's just that we have to get every single Jew to go out to greet the Melech. If the people are in the Soda, busy working in the Soda, they're not going to go out to greet the Melech. They lost an
They
opportunity.
have to be aware.
They have to be aware. How do you make every single Jew aware? The fact that you talk about the Yid schus, that reveals the schus in the Yid. So if you talk about the Yid and about every single Yid and say, wow, every single Yid is roitz aliyas misrol, roitz alatzas is kol ha-mitzvahs, l'srachik min ha-averes. You talk about every single positive and every single Yid, that brings out the positive. It brings it out that it should be revealed. And then the Yid goes out and runs and is makabel the king in the Soda.
So it's a time of extra rachamim, which a person could really daven for and get much more than they would get any time.
Absolutely, exactly. That's the idea, that the Melech is close. So therefore it's a Chodesh HaRachamim. And there's a Gilui of all 13 Midas HaRachamim, Chodesh Elul. Elamai, the person has to go out and ask for it. The person has to go request.
To the Sadeh.
Right? The person is already in the Sadeh. He just has to look up and say hello to the Melech and talk to the Melech.
All the Jews are in the ear. They don't live in the Sadeh. They have to go from the ear to the Sadeh.
That's why they go to the country.
That's how it goes.
Now, to
Exactly.
get ready for Rosh Hashanah.
Exactly.
They live all the
Let them know that in the country of Melech Basodeh, be careful over there.
they leave all the averot in the country. They come back clean here.
Yeah, I don't know. I never go. Maybe I have to start going.
So, one of the big Talmidim of the Heilige Baal Shem Tov and the Magid, Michal Zlotcheve. There's a famous song. Michal Zlotcheve made a song of longing. They say that the Baal Shem Tov, when his neshama was departing from his body, he asked the Talmidim to sing the Michal Zlotcheve's niggin. And there's a very dveikus niggin. And they said that I think the Baal Shem Tov said, or Michal himself, or the Michal Zlotcheve said that every time a Yid sings a niggin with a Sodus Tshuva, he's going to come help the Yid do Tshuva.
Wow. Did I have a record or
Yeah.
have the music?
There is in the
Yeah.
Choyach. It's an unbelievable story. Very deep and dveikus song. The Michal Zlotcheve once came to is traveling to the Baal Shem Tov for Shabbos. The story is that the Baal Shem Tov would invite certain Talmidim for Shabbos. He was invited to the Baal Shem Tov for Shabbos. And on the way, so Maisa saw he just can't get there. He was not that far from Mezhebush, and here there's one takola, another. Things are happening, and simply cannot get. Michal. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You were in Ukraine?
My son just sent me.
Oh, your son just sent to you?
It's
Very nice, yeah.
Before my father passed away, we all said in the Guinea, the last 10 minutes of his life. One of the Guinea.
You did it, Michal.
Sniggles.
Let me see.
Unbelievable nigga.
It's the cable.
So the Michal, this happens, the other thing happens, a wheel breaks, this breaks. They're not moving. He understood.
He didn't let them.
So he said, let's go to the closest place. They said there's no Jews in this closest town. There's one Jew, but not kedai to go there. Not kedai to go there. He owns an inn, and goyim come there, and he sells liquor, but he doesn't allow Jews to come into his property. So the Michal said, we have no choice. No,
we're for break.
we have to go there, and that's where we're going to be for Shabbos. So he comes, there's a guard. The guard says, Jews can't come in here. So he bribed the guard, and he comes into to this place. And the Balabayas says, what? You don't know? What are you doing here? He said, I'm here for Shabbos because I'm stuck, but you don't have to worry about food for Shabbos. Wine I have, chalas I have, don't worry. He said, get out of here, I have a couple of vicious dogs. He said, the Michal said, I am not moving from here. This is where I'm staying for Shabbos. I'm not going to bother you, and you don't bother me. So the man said, okay, you know what? But don't tell anyone that you stayed here for even a moment. I don't want people to get wrong ideas, and there may be some of this terrible thing of Jews starting to come to my house will start happening. Okay. Shabbos, they didn't pay attention to this guy. This guy was out. They didn't pay attention to him. He didn't. They were happy. He was out of their way. And after Shabbos, they went out of their way and they came to the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov asked him about what was going on.
How was the trip?
Yeah, it seemed like the Baal Shem Tov was an incredible dveikus when he was telling him about what's happening on Shabbos. And when he left the Baal Shem Tov and he was going back home and he traveled past this town, the wife of this innkeeper was crying. He said, what happened? She said, my husband died. She said, my husband told me before he passed away that you'll be passing the town, and that it's permitted for me to tell you his story. So his story is like this: that my husband is a tzaddik. All the wealth, all the money he has, there is a big Baal Tzedakah in the big city. Everyone knows, she said the name of a big Baal Tzedakah. But truthfully, he doesn't have much money. All the money that my husband gives him. And my husband gives him the money. Mainly, he distributes the money to Tzedakah, and everyone calls him a big Baal Tzedakah.
He's the gabbai of him.
So, Michal felt really bad. Here he thought that this guy is the worst of the worst. He looked at the person and he thought he was Neba Chayid, that's the worst. He wouldn't have even the mitzvah of Achnos HaSorchim. It turns out he's the best of the best. He's a big Baal Chesed, a big Baal Tzedakah, and a tzaddik nister, a hidden tzaddik. He went into the city where the Yidden lived, and he told Yidalach, you had a tzaddik nister living here. He said, what? Tzaddik? The guy died. We're not even allowing him to get buried in the cemetery. And Michal called for this wealthy Baal Tzedakah, and he asked them in front of the entire community, tell us, is it true that this person, that this miser, this Yid, the scoundrel, is really bankrolling all the chesed? He said, yes, it's true. People realize that there's a tzaddik nister. They said, definitely we're going to bury him in the cemetery, we're going to go to the Levaya. So the Michal went back to the woman, to the inn. The woman said that my husband also told me that no one should touch his body, that they should load his body onto the wagon. The wagon will come close to the Beis HaChaim. There will be two people that will come, and they will take care of his body, and and no one else should be misasik, no one else should touch him. So Reb Michal said, okay. Reb Michal followed the coffin, Taka. When they came close to the cemetery, two people appeared from nowhere, and they took the coffin, they took care, they did the tahara, they did put him on the tachlichim, and then people followed them, and they came into the cemetery, and they buried him kadas v'chadin. They said kaddish. People went back home, and Reb Michal of Zlotcha stayed with these two people. He's talking to them for a very long time. When he came back to the city, people wanted to know, who are these people we never seen? So he said, I can't tell you who they are, but I could just tell you one of them was a Leonov.
Wow.
So this is a story of Reb Michal's Lotcha.
Why didn't he let any Jews come into his chasanya?
I don't know, I guess.
Maybe it was for good. He didn't want them to mix with the Goyim and Shikar and all the schmutz they do.
Exactly. Maybe, you
Who
see?
was the guy that-
He made money
Who was
off
the
of
guy
it,
that
but
was
he
talking?
held that it's not a place for Jews.
Exactly.
I mean, there are such things.
Right?
Ah,
So you see, you're thinking you're already in the right tracks.
I mean, I
You're
don't
thinking
know.
like Reb Michal's Lotcha.
Could be.
So that's the pshat of the Rebbe.
amazing.
That from this we learn an incredible lesson in Avodas Hashem. That sometimes we look at a Jew and he looks like the worst of the worst, and really he's the best of the best.
Never estimate the person.
So we don't know.
Never know.
So we don't know, but we have. But the emes is that every single yid is roitza, lasas, is kol mitzvahs, u'lesarachik mekol averis. Every single yid has an neshama that wants to do all the mitzvahs. Our job is to reveal that rotzen that's there in every single heart of every yid. We have to reveal it. And when we reveal that rotzen zicha, every single yid is going to run out to Chodesh Elul to greet the king that's in the field. The king is only waiting that the Yidden should make a request. And once we make the request, the Eibishter is going to grant the request and give every Yid a kesiva v'chasim toiva. He'll sign him and seal him b'sifra shel tzadikim and give him a shona toiva, msuka b'toiva nira v'nigli b'gashmis and beruchnis.